So, hello everyone. A very warm good afternoon and welcome to another empowering edition of the Vibe Live, a Hexalog. As we have seen, today's theme is shattering limits, redefining success beyond the glass ceiling, which celebrates every woman who dared to go beyond boundaries at work, at home, and within herself. And I welcome you warmly on the behalf of the Vibe. The Vibe, which stands for Women, Inspire, Build, and Enhance, is a platform dedicated to fostering women's excellence. It brings together women doctors from diverse specialities to share knowledge, leadership experiences, and personal journeys that inspire growth and collaboration. The fundamental pillars that form the vibe are physical well being, mental health, financial wisdom, and professional excellence. Through conferences, forums, and various initiatives, the Vibe strives to build a strong community of women professionals who uplift one another and redefine the landscape of healthcare leadership. Today, we are privileged to have with us a powerhouse of inspiration, Mrs. Farida Hussain, Chief Marketing Officer at USV Private Limited, a leader, a mentor, and a role model for women in healthcare. But let me start by saying I'm Dr. Ritu Johari, consultant diabetologist and metabolic expert practicing in the western suburbs of Mumbai, founder and partner at Arfect Medical Marketing Solutions, and also co founder of The Vibe. With that, may I request the rest of my team, The Vibe, to introduce themselves. Dr. Lotika.
Hello, I am Dr. Lotika Purohit, a diabetologist and a lifestyle medicine physician, also the partner at Sugar Doctor Medicare LLP. I have been practicing in Colaba for the last 3 decades. Besides that, I'm a mother of an artist and an entrepreneur, and I enjoy cooking. Also, I enjoy traveling a lot, visiting new places, and I'm so happy to be part of this team at Vibe. Pranjali?
So, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Pranjali Shah, consultant diabetologist at App Diabetes Clinic. I have been practicing for more than 20, 15 to 18 years, and I love helping young diabetics and help them live longer and stronger. I love to do community camps and create awareness because I believe in prevention is better than cure. So this is my related to my work profile. But if you don't find me in my clinic, you will find me doing farming, playing badminton, hiking, playing with my pets. So yes, apart from my work, I love enjoying other thing, and that keeps us going, I believe. Over to you, Dr. Kavita.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kavita Rane. I practice at Hombur for the past 14 years as a diabetologist. I'm focusing on type 2 diabetes in adults and obesity. I practice at Rane Hospital as a diabetologist as well as the director of operations since I have studied my MBA in healthcare management as well. So I help my dad run the hospital, and I also practice at Apollo Spectra and Inlash General Hospital. I love to draw, paint. I love to travel. I love travel photography. I've had my exhibition at Jahangir Art Gallery in the year 2019. And I love EDM music and I love to play golf as well. Over to you, Dr. Rukia.
Hello, I'm Dr. Rukia Surya. I'm a diabetes, thyroid, and obesity consultant. I have my clinic, Blue Circle Clinic, at Mulund, and I have been practicing there for the last 15 years. What I enjoy doing most is, this journey which the patients share with me, and through their being a part of their healthcare is something which I really enjoy. But if you don't see me in my clinic, you are going to be seeing me either playing carom, or I love travel, but most I really like is having good conversations. So conversations that make me think, conversations that make me laugh, and this is really the platform why I come forward to having this great conversations and getting inspired by these beautiful women and telling us more about their journey here today. So yes.
Thank you so much. So I think now is the time that you all are waiting for. You can see Farida there, and it's my privilege to be introducing her. Mrs. Farida Najib Hussain is a senior marketing leader with over 33 years of enriched experience in the healthcare industry. As CMO at the USV Private Limited, she has been instrumental in building leading pharmaceutical brands like the Ecosprin and Glycomed. Alongside her corporate role, she has contributed significantly to academia as well, serving 7 years as an honorary professor at the esteemed Nursing Monji Management School and as a member of the Board of Studies for almost 2 years. She currently sits on the Board of Studies for undergraduate and postgraduate psychology programs at the Chitkara University for the current financial year. Her blend of strategic marketing expertise and academic engagement makes her a respected voice in healthcare leadership. Welcome, Farida, to this wonderful hexalog. Eagerly looking ahead to hear you. And with that, we just want to know any starting words from you.
No, at the outset, I think I have to thank Dr. Lotika, Dr. yourself, Dr. Ritu, Dr. Rukaya, Dr. Pranjali, as well as Dr. Kavita for giving me this opportunity to share my journey with each and every one of you. And I hope that it kind of adds value to all the youngsters, who are embarking on their journey or who are in the midway and wanting to understand as to how to take it forward. So I think thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Wonderful. So over to you, Dr. Lotika, to start with the,
Yeah.
the conversation, the hexalog.
Thank you. So let's start from the beginning. What was the spark behind the scientist? What drew you to the world of pharmacy? And was it the curiosity behind the science? Was it the compassion for people, or a mixture of both? And how was your leadership journey planned?
Well, thanks, Dr. Lotika, for that question. So, when I was always a kind of a very top student in my class, right from the school days as well. And my family background from my mom's side is that we are businessmen. And as a result of which, like, nobody was kind of really pushing anyone to do higher studies or whatever. But because I was good in the studies and I liked science, therefore in the 12th I took up science, like I think most of you all. And after that, I could have kind of got the marks in our PCB, etc. Could have got it into JJ and in the last few things, but I decided to pursue pharmacy simply because of, as you said, no, because of curiosity. And when I joined the pharmacy and and I started learning much more about the medicines and the way that they work, the way that they are formulated, it actually kind of inspired me that yes, I mean, we can do a lot of good for the benefit of our patients, provided that the formulation, the type of the medicine that we give is in the right kind of right quality, quantity, etc. In 1986, unfortunately, my dad got developed pancreatic cancer, and he was not able to survive. Within 6 months, he was not able to survive. So at that time as well, I was in the pharmacy college only. That motivated me to take up pharmacology as my majors in masters when I did my masters after my graduation in pharmacy. So I think that was a triggering factor, which I said, okay, let me study how molecules work, because during that time, there was hardly any molecules available, and specifically to treat the difficult type of cancers and all. So that's the reason I took up my pharmacology and I did my masters in that. So I think it was curiosity, it was certain events which happened in my life, which kind of pushed me into this area. Yeah.
Okay. So as a woman in healthcare industry, what are the early challenges or the early ceilings that you faced? And can you recall some defining moments in this part of your career?
Yeah, so when I entered into the pharmaceutical industry, USV was my first job, and way back in 1991. And at that time, there were very few females around, in this world. And I entered into the medical team, and I was reporting to Dr. V.V. Joshi. He was an MBBS doctor, and our role was to train the representatives, the sales representatives on our molecules, diseases, etc. So when you went for the training in the training hall, there was no women at all. And there were all the medical representatives, and they were all senior, much senior to me, almost about 10 years, 15 years senior. And the fact is that they were looking very suspiciously, or or maybe not suspiciously, but with curiosity, that what is this young female going to teach us? When we are going directly to the medical doctors, we know much more, and what is she kind of going to do? So I think that is the time that, all your guts and your determination and your confidence all has to kind of be at the top, in order so that you don't get overwhelmed with the surroundings that you have. But fortunately, in USV, we did not have that much of a, difference between, at the head office, of course, there was nothing. But when you go out in the field, of course, you used to be, but I think it all depends upon how you are going to take care and manage yourself in front of the others, so that, they start respecting you, irrespective of your age, your gender, or, whatever it is. So I think that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So how did your personal values shape the leadership role that you are in, and the fact that you become a leader in the pharma industry? So how did your personal values shape that?
Yeah. So I have to give the credit of all the values that I have imbibed, from my mom, definitely. And from my professor who was my guide in MPharm when he was Dr. Vadlamudi Rao. I mean, my mom as well as my professor, both of them were so much into discipline, honesty, integrity, and empathy. I mean, I think these 3-4 things which were there, which were imbibed right from, the time that I was a child to the time that I passed out my, finished my master's. I was lucky to have the same kind of people with the same kind of values throughout. And those were the values which I have imbibed in USV. And fortunately, again, USV also has the same values, of integrity, honesty, and empathy, very much empathetic, as well as, the discipline. So I'll give you one example of being empathetic and what USV kind of, did, which I felt at that time, wow, this is like really, matches with my personal values. So if you remember, Ecosprin way back used to be available in 1 rupee a tablet, 20 years back, and then the government slashed the prices. And at that time, it fell down to 30 paisa. So 4-5 companies who were there, they vanished because they were not able to sustain the stability.
Yeah.
And then we decided, with our management that, yes, we will kind of continue. And therefore, we continued. So I think because otherwise there was no option available. So that empathy piece is, very, very important, which kind of drives decisions as well.
Yeah, no, it's true. All these things are very important in shaping a person. Now I hand over to Dr. Kavita for the next segment of the discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Latika. So, ma'am, this next segment is on gender growth and the glass ceiling. So my question to you is, what unique strength do women bring to leadership in pharma, and how can organizations better harness them?
Yeah. So, since I have been thinking about this question, and this has been asked even several times, and you might be knowing that, and in a lot of discussions in the corporate world as well, they say that, yes, okay, fine, women will get you these kind of skills, and mainly they are the ones which has got a higher emotional quotient. Right. And then empathy is kind of much higher in the women as compared to men. But ultimately, I feel that I don't think that these skills are, of course, there, the emotional quotient and the empathy perspective, but it can be also be had in males. I have seen many male colleagues as well who have got these kind of stuff. So I think ultimately it depends upon what are your belief values. I mean, whether you are a male or whether you are a female. I personally don't believe that any women will get, differential capabilities than what the men would get. So, yeah, that's my personal belief, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So, have you ever encountered moments when your voice was overlooked, and how did you reclaim your space?
Yeah, so when you are in a corporate world, the voice being overlooked is being seen, because in a corporate world, normally decisions are taken collaboratively. And I think collaboration is one thing that, we practice very, very religiously, at least in my organization. And so what happens is that you may have a particular point of view and there may be another point of view. So your point of view may not be taken 100%, but then when you amalgamate both of them, the outcome is much, much richer. But I have never kind of had an instance. There would have been an instance, yes, that it's completely overlooked, maybe sometimes because of any other reason, but I have not had that, kind of a situation, yeah, to handle, so to say.
What and how much is the growth one should aspire for? Does success also mean peace and purpose and not just position?
Yes, of course, you are extremely right. I mean, success does not mean position at all. In fact, I always in fact, I was talking to you all also the other time that, each and every one of us have to find our happy space, as to where are we going to be happy and at different points in time of our life. So just to give you an example that I started my work in 91, and then in 95, I delivered my son. And at that time, the happy space for me was to be with him. And as a result of which, I took a 1 year sabbatical. So I did not go to work for almost about a year. And that was the happy space for me. And then again, I kind of come back. So your mental peace is extremely important for whatever position that you want to reach, and I think that we don't need to compete with anyone in order to say that yes, you are at this position or I am just a homemaker or anything, because every position in our life is important in our social circle and environment that we are. The most important thing is we will be happy with whatever that we have and not be feel frustrated. Yeah.
True, very true.
Hmm.
And how can women physicians create their own definition of success, ma'am? Like your advice to young women scientists and executives who aspire to pass on, to who aspire to do this in their future.
Yeah. So I think one very important point that I have realized in my journey is that we should, none of the females or, the women should think themselves as different from the males, because in the corporate world, no, it is extremely, extremely competitive. So you are not going to get any brownie points because you are a woman. You should not even expect that, that if they send you for travel to any place and all, and then you say, no, I can't travel. Or if you have to go on a bike, in the younger days, we would sit on the bike and no, I can't sit on the bike. I can't do this. I can't do that. The moment that happens, then your perception in the mind of people around you is also kind of, reduces, that this person is taking advantage of being a woman. And I think that is the most important thing that we should not do. We should not make anybody feel that we are getting all the goodies or whatever we are getting or not getting is because we are women. So that is important, number one. And number two, of course, the decorum that we need to maintain, at least in the pharmaceutical world, is very important. Being a woman, we need to kind of know what to talk, what to wear. And those were the things which were very, very important, at once upon a time. Now, of course, people are kind of more liberal and more giving back. But I think otherwise at those times, it was very, very critical that the way that what you talk, what you wear is also very important.
Very true. So thank you so much, ma'am. Passing on to Dr. Rukia for the next segment.
Yeah, thank you.
So, ma'am, you've been in a big pharma company, and how do you stay true to your ethics when there's so much pressure to meet these business goals?
Yes, I think that is, a very, very important question. And I'll tell you from different perspective as well. because every pharmaceutical organization is a business organization, right? And of course, we are kind of improving patient care. We are within the healthcare sector that, makes sure that the human life is kind of taken care of. But ultimately, it is a business organization. And as a result of which, therefore, there are targets and there are deadlines and there are timelines, etc. So what we believe in USV, as well as my own personal beliefs, are that the way that we get to the goal is very important than the goal itself. So as a result of which, the process that we follow should not be a process wherein we take shortcuts to, get a prescription, or to, get, dump your stocks at your stockist end and so on and so forth. Because I always tell my team members that, we don't need stress in today's day and life. And I think the stress, because, we already, many of us, most of us would have stress, at some kind of a stress at home. Then you have a stress in your professional work, and then you have some whatever other stress which are there. And then we are seeing as to how these stress is leading to people getting, heart attacks and dying at a very young age as well. And as a result of which, in order to overcome that, the ethics which we practice is that, do your process properly. In our Bhagavad Gita, there is Lord Krishna has said, right, that, don't worry about the fruits, but you do your job well, and ultimately you will get. So that is what I personally believe, that let's do our basics properly. So that when you do the basics properly, then that ethics also gets into the place, integrity, honesty, discipline, all that what I said. And we as leaders have to be sensitized to the fact that, okay, if the process is good, if you don't get your numbers or if you don't reach your goal, it is fine. If you then, kind of don't understand that, then it is a problem. Then, then again, the stress goes on that, no, we did the process, we didn't go to the goal. So then what is the process? How do you have to change the process? So I think that those are very important. And some of the ethical values that we always kind of follow is that, of course, our line of work is that put the patients first. So the quality of the brands, where it is available, the price points at which we sell, all those are very, very important, despite of the fact that, okay, something else may be happening in the environment around us. So I think those are the principles which we follow, and make sure that, yes, business is there, but business has to come from the right processes.
So, ma'am, this is, I think, my takeaway, that, don't just focus on the goal. The journey has to be honest.
Yes.
The doesn't have to be lost during the journey just to reach your goal. So I think that is really amazing. Yeah. So, ma'am, again, similarly, so because, when you're balancing this data-driven decisions, okay, there are molecules, there's data. And how do you balance these decisions with a human-centered leadership? Like, how do you balance with what the numbers say and with what people are needing? How do you balance that?
Yeah. So that, it's extremely important. I gave you one example of our EcoSprint, right?
Yes, yes.
That although the profitability came to almost kind of zero, but yet we said that no, what will people do when they don't have any aspirin available in the market, because everybody had kind of shut down. So I think that was the data. Data says don't do it, but the human factor says that no, we should do it for this other purpose. And we have taken such kind of calls for several of them. In fact, recently also we have launched one molecule, that is quinidine, for arrhythmias, which again, it's a very, very small market. But the cardiologist said that nobody else is giving. The patients are only about 500 in the country, and they have to get the molecules from Israel and all that. So we do take decisions for most of the, of course, for most of the very, very critical thing. Data is extremely important. So I'm not saying that, we only follow the human path of it and forget about the data, because of course the business has to be profitable. But we realize the risks and the benefits which is there, and then we take appropriate decisions. That's extremely important. Yeah.
Also, so in this environment which is driven by so many regulations, the pharma has to follow, yes, and else, how do you cultivate this innovation, where you have younger people giving you new ideas in your team, and how do you inculcate that, to create this USV ethics, or the journey?
Yeah. So there are 2, 3 ways that we do it. Is so say now you spoke about the regulations, right? And we all know that physicians are regulated by a certain regulations, and pharma companies are regulated with certain regulations, and they are all now very, very strict, and we have to kind of follow. So so the way that we kind of approaches is that you must have seen the Google Maps, right? I mean, all of us use the Google Maps. So to go from point A to point B, and if there is a traffic or something, they will say, okay, go through the other route. So the point is that we have to go from a point A to the point B. In the past, when regulations were little not that tight, we used to take a route. And now when the regulations are tight, we are taking another route. Now that another route is innovation. So for that innovation, we actually have undergone training, and we find out as to, and all our youngsters who are there, the brand managers who are there, our sales guys who are there, and all of them are now taught, and they have undergone programs to kind of figure out as to how can you really find out a differentiation which will impact the patients for at a long-term period, right? In the sense that don't do anything which is going to just be for a short term, and then yes, okay, you did this and then forget about it. So develop programs, develop initiatives after discussing with the patients, with the physicians, understanding the need, where is the need gap which is available, and develop the programs. And so such kind of programs that we have is your National Diabetes Educator Program, which is running for
Yes.
almost now 15 years. And those are the ones which impact the society, impact the physicians in a very, very positive manner. So I think our guys are all tuned to, figuring that particular differentiated need, which is there prevalent in the market. And yeah.
So, ma'am, being a women leader and women being more empathetic in general, that's what is considered. How do you blend this empathy with authority? You are in a leadership position today, and you are in an authoritative position. So how do you blend both? So how do you stay kind, yet you remain firm with what you want to get on table?
Yeah, so no, so that of course that depends upon the situation, in the sense that we know when to be kind, and we know when to be ruthless. In the sense that, so when to demonstrate empathy, and then when to demonstrate, so like for example, as I said, that I will demonstrate empathy, I will demonstrate kindness to the people who have kind of followed the process, worked diligently with discipline, integrity, honesty, but yet not have been able to reach the goal. So you try to understand, okay, what is the problem, let's solve it together, etc., etc. But when I know that, yes, I mean, despite of all the support which is given, yet this person has not been able to reach the goal for whatever other reasons are, and it may be because of the it may be all the support is given but yet not reached, and so therefore that situation needs to be tackled in a very, very different manner. So I think depending upon the situation, and it is never targeted at a person, it is always targeted at how at the situation which is kind of there. So those are the ways that we balance out the need to be authoritative and the need to be empathetic in that manner. And sometimes we need to demonstrate authority in places when there is ambiguity. So when there is an ambiguity for taking any decisions and all, then ultimately based on whatever experiences that we have, whatever data that we have, we need to kind of take certain decisions, and in that manner. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. So, the journey is very important, and each day is different.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So over to you, Dr. Ritu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mukaya. I think, ma'am, I was just waiting for this segment because, it just brings me so much happiness to share that, when I had this role in pharma, I'm really blessed to say that, very few get this privilege to be on both sides of the table, seeing how the drugs are manufactured, what goes beyond, what kind of research efforts. There are so many molecules which don't even see the light of the day. and then, being on the other side prescribing these medicines. And with that, of course, brings a lot of insight to me of how difficult these journeys can be. And I was just stating, earlier, that looking at people at the pinnacle is easy, that, oh wow, that person is at that particular stature, but then reaching that journey is what is most important. And you're definitely a very inspiring personality for all us women out here. My segment is slightly related, part to the role that you play and also part to the authority that you hold. So I'm going to talk about the future of medicine, science with a soul, as exactly you just captured that, along with empathy and authority, which are probably two sides of the coin. The questions that are coming to you are, how do you see artificial intelligence and genomics reshaping the future of pharmaceutical research? That's the first one to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, so thanks for that question, Dr. Ritu. So yes, we all of us are talking about AI, and then so many other variations of AI, and I think everybody is into that as of now. So both, I think, genomics as well as AI, I'm sure that it will lead to a lot of personalization in the medicine, in the way that we treat the patients, and I think that is already kind of happening. And the faster that we embrace it and use it in all our day-to-day work, the better it is going to be. Not only from efficiency perspective, we will be able to then use a lot of our time for making sure that we discuss, and from your perspective you'd have more time with the patient, and from our perspective we do much more in understanding our consumers as well as in strategic, how to build our future organization from that perspective. So one is efficiency and the other one is effectiveness. Those are the two things in our pharmaceutical that AI is definitely going to help. And genomics and coupled with AI, definitely personalization, precision medicine is going to be the way in the future, the way that it is progressing. So times are very exciting in the future. And and the time will come when we don't have these small molecules that we have right now, rosuvastatin and all that, and then we are all kind of going to talk about genomics and AI and how it can kind of improve our lives. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm not just asking you out of curiosity, any personal example of AI usage that you may have done or you may have seen your students using, which you would want to share with us? Let me give you an example and a heads up. So, for example, the other day I was just checking my chat GPT and I suddenly happened to see that there were some conversations which I hadn't started. And it was basically by my son. And, he was writing things like, what do I do when I feel sad? Do I tell my mother or do I tell my father? So it was very funny for me and surprising and shocking at the same time. And I realized that, sometimes I was in a perplexed situation that whether I confront him that why did you use ChatGPT on my phone without my permission, or whether I ask him what made him reach out to ChatGPT rather than to me. So any such experience you would want to share with us?
Yeah, I can also share a recent experience, with my son itself. So, he was feeling a little bit weak, and he's like 29 years old now, but he was feeling weak over a long period of time. He was not able to go to the gym, etc., for almost about 4-5 months, but he was healthy. But so he went, so of course we did a whole body checkup and all that in Breach Candy, and we got all the data and all that. So some parameters of the blood, like say platelet was a little low, and platelet was low, and your glucose postprandial was very low, and some few things here and there. So obviously what he did was he went to ChatGPT and the ChatGPT.
Oh my God, I can only imagine the list
You can
that
imagine
he got.
what would have happened, and what long things and all sorts of things. And then we said that okay, chalo, let's just go and visit a doctor. So then we went to Dr. Hiban Thakkar, and then doctor that he saw, and then he said that this is nothing. Apparently, it looks like that he must have had a viral long time back, and then viral is kind of not going. I mean, yeah, so it's only that. And he gave some multivitamins and all that kind of stuff. So my son is like, what, only multivitamins? And ChatGPT has given such a long list of things which is there. So yeah, so this is the other way. So I'm sure you must be getting a lot of patients like this, right?
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. And in fact, I've been hearing a lot of candid conversations, interesting debates on this fact that, whether it is going to be the human intelligence versus the artificial intelligence. And I really like the fact that it's always going to be if you are the one who's governing, what the AI is giving you, then definitely, yes, it's going to be the rightful use. So that brings me to the next question, which is, with patients becoming more informed than earlier, because they have more
Yes.
than the Google. Now they have the chat GPT, which is personalizing their experience. Earlier you used to tell them, no, Google doesn't have all the information. Now with chat GPT, they have personalized solutions to the problems that are written. How do you think will trust get redefined in modern healthcare? What are your views on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is an extremely very, very important, question, both from a physician's perspective as well as from our perspective. In fact, we did a study recently, and just to kind of see that, where we interacted with a lot of patients, and we found to see that what is the relationship with the physician. So, as you rightly said, almost about 25% of these patients who are visiting the physicians, they had an adult to adult conversation with the physicians. No longer it was an adult to the child conversation, which normally would be 100%. And this type of a power shift, I mean, which we see going to the patients, was very, very evident. Excuse me. So at one point of time, it was only about 10%. And in another year, it has kind of increased to 25%.
Wow.
And not only that, the remaining guys who were there, again, out of that 25%, just give me a moment.
Please. No, I'll just probably give you a minute short, because I think this is very interesting, what you were mentioning about the studies, because in our practice also, we do see a lot of that shift in the way conversations are happening. And I'll just bring to the table, there was one family that came in, a father and a son. And the moment the father came in, he was like, these are my problems, this is what I feel, and this is what I should be given. And he has obviously expecting the doctor to tell that, okay, this is the final mantra for you, whereas the son is waiting there for his turn. And the moment you tell them what is the final mantra, they want to then tell you, okay, why not this, why not that, I have read about this, are there any side effects? So of course, the way people think are changing. They obviously want more information than earlier. They're more prepared, and therefore the ownership of the disease is also higher. So yeah, you were saying.
No, absolutely. And I think that the remaining 25%, or the other people out of that 25%, no, they would say yes to the doctor. But then when they go out, they would all do Google, this, that.
Yeah,
I know that, what
absolutely.
the physician has said is no. So I think the onus lies on the physicians in order to give more time, because I think that is what I guess the patients are now craving, and to give them the right information. So I'll give you one very recent case which had happened, and personally, so when I had gone to a dermatologist, for some rash, etc., and it was a difficult rash to kind of go. So, and of course, now many patients will be like me, who are well read. Even if I'm not in the pharma field, I'm sure that people are like that. So this person gave thalidomide, right? And I knew what is thalidomide, obviously. And that person said that it is even safe for pregnant women. Now,
Oh my God.
so now the point is that then how can I trust the physician? So therefore it becomes very, very important. And now every patient wants a very frank kind of a feedback, and a frank kind of a discussion, and to kind of say that, okay, this is what it is, this is what it is will do, this is what it will not do. So I think that the trust has to be, as you're saying absolutely rightly, it has to be refired, and the responsibility has to lie on the physicians to make sure that the patients, and of course you will expect all different types of patients, but I guess we have to do what is the best for them.
Yes, and in fact, sometimes we are faced with situations such as, like you just mentioned, that, sometimes patients will say, oh, I have this rash. Do I need to go to a dermatologist or can you treat it for us? And I think we shouldn't shy away in saying that, what, this is something that is another specialty. Why don't you just seek expert opinion?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything to shy away rather than try just, shrug your shoulders and, give away a drug just because the person has been known to you for years. So yes, the right place, right information matters a lot. Now, Frida, coming to the way I've been really reading about you. You do a lot of work around education and academia, and you have a lot of students from Nursi Mondri and other universities as well. So when it comes to teaching them, because of course the future lies with these youngsters. So how do you place the role of sustainability and social responsibility to them? Especially those who are aspiring to get into the corporate roles or into the pharmaceutical industry. What is your take for them?
Yeah, so I think this is a very good question, and so that is the reason why I also like to interact with all these youngsters and all, because the two ways. One is that we can kind of talk to them about our experiences and which are the ones which will be valuable to them, and the other thing, they also teach us a lot of stuff. As we said, Gen Zs and all that. I mean, in the sense, a lot of stuff. So let me talk about the social, the social responsibility that we have. So to all the youngsters, and even to my team over here at USV, I always kind of tell them is that whatever that we do, we should make sure that, and for us in our society, patients are very important in our healthcare. So whatever we do, it has to impact the lives of the patients. So please do not think of anything, number one, which is short term, which is just going to give you some additional prescriptions, and then you are not doing anything good to anybody. Number two, it has to be there for long term, drawn out, even if it is 10 years, 15 years and all. And that is how we will also build trust, we will build relationships, and it will improve the society at large. So I think that is one very, very important stuff which I say, because sometimes you see you see advertisements or campaigns,
Mm,
like how we say in
mm,
pharma, like
mm.
if you write one prescription, we will donate one thing to this charity, that charity. All that is, it is not, it is only for short term, right? You need to build sustainable programs, number one. Number two, in sustainability, yes, I mean, we have kind of done a lot of work, and I must appreciate the amount of work that USV does in the area of sustainability, that we have taken it upon ourselves in order to kind of make sure that plastics and all that in papers are kind of now almost non-existent in our organization. Plastics are non-existent, and and if you come, and then I must invite all of you all to our campus as well, in our office. It's very, very green, and we our chairperson, Mrs. Leena Gandhi Tiwari, she does a lot of work in this area of sustainability. So I think that sustainability is very important. And again, sustainability is important is the way that we look at it, the containers in our medicines that we kind of, the bottles that we put, are they
Correct. Use,
recyclable? They are
yes.
not
Mm-hmm.
recyclable. Then
Mm-hmm.
even all the plastics or the blisters that we use. So we are all using the ones which are now slowly, slowly moving to the ones which are little, environment friendly.
Environment. Wow, that's amazing. I think that's great to know. So I think, Farida, I'll end on that note with saying that, the blend of humility and strength which you bring in truly defines the powerful leadership. With that, let me pass on this segment to Pranjali.
Thank you, Ritu. So next segment, ma'am, we'll be discussing mainly, we are shifting our focus to something every woman leader, especially in healthcare, can deeply relate to it, the balance. And here I would request you to give us techniques, your secrets, and your time management tips. Here I would like to have those pointers from you, ma'am. So my first question to you, ma'am, balancing a demanding professional life with family and personal well-being isn't easy. And for many women, the working woman's guilt is real. So how do you navigate that balance? And was there ever a moment of guilt you had to overcome? And how did you handle it?
Yeah, so yeah, so I think all of us must have faced that, right, in our lives. I mean, that's an ongoing kind of this, but yes, you do find out a space. So in my initial days and all, it was so when you're not married, it is a different situation wherein you are free, no responsibilities, you can do what you want to do. The moment you get kind of married, then you have all the responsibilities as well, which is there. So I think that very, very important is your family support. I'm sure all of us agree to that, that without the very good family support, it's just not possible. And in the profession that also where I am with, there needs to be a lot of travel, there's a lot of stress, there is so many other things which are there. So we do need to have a family support at home. And therefore I have been living all these years with my parents-in-law, so I'm very fortunate enough to so that they are there with us all the time. That is number one. The support of your spouse is also very, very important, in the sense that how much amount of freedom and leeway that he kind of provides to you, encourages you in order to, yes, do what you like, and not because you have to do it, but you do whatever you kind of like. Don't worry about home thing, because home front we will, and you have to have that support system at home to take care of everything. I did used to feel guilty, when my son was born, and I told you I took a 1 year sabbatical, and even after that, you always have those pangs, and I'm sure all of you all must have gone through that, whether your son will forget you if you have gone out for 3-4 days. And he's not going to remember you, and he will not love you more, and he's going to love only your grandparents more, or whoever is there at home. So all these the guilt pangs were kind of there. And then later in my life I met a psychologist. I had gone to her for some work that I had, and I was talking to her about all this, and she said that it really is not about you being away, and your son missing you, or husband missing you, or anything like that way. It is all the bonding that you create with each other, which is kind of very, very important. You have to be with them at the time when they definitely need you, and give them space, and that is the best one. So I think over the years, now it is of course very easy. Now it's not at all difficult, but yes, in the initial few years it was very, very difficult to kind of have mental peace. And therefore, to all the youngsters, I say that you must have mentally, you have to be at peace if you want to be successful in your professional life. Otherwise it is not going to kind of happen. Yeah, so guilt was always there
Yes.
at some point.
Yes, but to overcome that guilt, like Dr. Lotika was telling, you were spending time with your kids and you used to take them to the classes.
Yeah.
So that has helped you a lot, like it is
Yeah, so as
to
I said,
understand, like to
yes, so as I said that, then therefore the time that you have at home, you have to
Huh,
kind of spend with them. Then you can't kind of say that, no, I have got work. But, sometimes it always also used to happen that when we
difficult.
used to go for a holiday, we had to carry laptops and all, and we had to kind of go on working, because it was like Dr. Ritu is saying yes, yes, because I'm sure you undergone all that. And then the family says, why have you come with us, on your vacation? And then, just, but I think it is all then understanding of each other, that yes, we have to finish that. And sometimes I think the other way also happens, that we feel that no, if I'm not going to work, I'm not going to finish, the organization will kind of fall down. I'm the only person who is kind of this. But that also is a very wrong feeling, because in an organization there are so many people who are there. So if you kind of take a few moments out, it is necessary for you to take a few moments out from the organization. And so those are the things which you kind of develop over a period of time. So first of all, our mindset, that the
Yes.
team that you build is very important. I mean, when you have to balance, the team that you build under you is so very important. Because even today, when you're saying that, yes, okay, fine, I have reached this particular position, but I would have not been able to reach this position if we didn't have a good team. And when I say a good team,
Yeah.
not only the people who directly report to me, but also the people at the head office, because the manufacturing team and the supply chain, the HR team, the finance team, and the R&D team. Because if they were not supporting us, then we would have not been able to support you with all our products, or our programs, or whatever it is. So I
So
think
what I could gather from your thing is like 2, 3 things like we need to learn to delegate, to make a proper team, to prioritize our task. And I think being in the moment when you're with the child, you should be,
Yeah.
in
But
that moment, you should not be thinking about the work at that time.
yeah,
Might be helpful
yeah.
too.
But that will come over a period of time. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's yes, ma'am. And ma'am, the next thing is like with such intensity in corporate and medical world, we all need anchors to keep us grounded. So what are rituals or techniques you're using to keep you grounded all the time, and that has shaped your leadership
Yeah,
style?
so I think I'm kind of being able to keep grounded only because at home, they completely ground me. I mean, in the sense that at home, it is like, oh my God. I mean, it is very different scenario. So they kind of don't even let me think for a moment that, who I am. And it is like, okay, you are Farida Hussain, you are the wife of Najib, and you are the mother of, Mikhail. I mean, that's it. And, so I think that is very important and that is very good in order to keep us humble as well as to make sure, and then that empathy thing kind of comes in and everything kind of comes in. So I think that home is the most grounded place that it supports me. I mean, that's all I can say. Mm.
So ma'am, this is the topic we often avoid in medical world, the money talk. So why do you believe financial independence is critical for professionals, even for doctors?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
normally we usually don't discuss about money whenever we are having lectures or professional talk.
Yeah. I think you all can also share your thoughts about this. But yes, in today's world, I feel that independence is important. I think whether it is financial or thought independence or the whatever that we can do, I think that independence is very important. And also so I would like to kind of say that yes, financial independence is extremely important because of the fact that yes, uh, you are never then therefore dependent on someone from finance perspective. Emotionally,
Mhm.
yes, you have to be dependent and you should depend upon your family members or whoever your close people are. But I think financially it's important that you have your own say, and you can do as whatever that you want to do. You can build whatever you want to build. And I think yes, fine. I would like to hear from you all as well. I mean, how do you all? I mean, I'm sure that you all think financial independence is very, very important.
I think financial independence will be helpful to take decisions when we are not dependent to take decisions. I think that is, so we
Yeah,
don't need to rely on multiple people in the house to take any decision. So that is one thing I would say, especially in leadership, might be helpful.
yeah,
I will ask at the end others also about their
yeah,
feedback.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And ma'am, is there any one financial lesson you wish young women professionals could learn early? Something you wish you had known when you had started. So any one financial lesson you want to share with us?
Financial lessons. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think that the one financial lessons that um, so my husband has always been very supportive in order to make sure that what to do with the finances and all. But I think that invest wisely. I
Okay.
think that's extremely important, and don't fritter away all the money that you collect. Initially, and don't fritter that away. Invest wisely. Put it in the right kind of whatever whatever policies or that what is it, and make sure that you have enough for your future. Because I think everybody is
The
going to
planning.
now live till almost 100 years. I mean, people are living till 98, 95, and also we all of us should, God bless us, if we are healthy and all, we should be living till 100. So that till that age, we should be able to make sure that whatever that we have earned in this productive years of our life is going to help us to also maintain that same kind of lifestyle that we have today, or even
Yes.
better when we are kind of that old. I think that's very, very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the lovely messages. And next, I would like to hand over to Dr. Ritu for the amazing session next.
Yeah.
Okay, so Frida, let's switch gears. Let's lighten it up with our signature vibe pulse. 5, 6 questions and quick answers, instinctive, honest, whatever comes to your mind.
Mm.
So, First thought when you hear glass ceiling.
When you hear
Glass ceiling. That
glass
is a
ceiling,
part of our topic. So, what did you think when you heard glass ceiling?
yeah, doesn't exist in my world.
Super. Great. One word that defines leadership for you.
What word?
Any word that defines leadership for you.
Empathy with authority.
Wow, that's amazing. I think I'll take that. And then a woman leader from any field who inspires you, who inspires Farida.
Yeah, I think first is our chairperson herself. She's an amazing woman, Mrs. Leena
Okay.
Gandhi Tiwari. She inspires, and then my mom inspires me. I mean, she's no more, but she has inspired me all my life. Yes.
Super, super.
Mm.
Then one stereotype about women leaders you would wish to break.
One, that they can't do this. I mean, will they do it? Is it possible for her to do it?
I love that. I really love that. And I trust me, you will hear me saying all this someplace because, yes, that is a big taboo for women and they should come out of those stereotypes for sure. Then, if not pharma or healthcare, what do you think you would have chosen as a career?
That's an interesting one.
What would Farida be?
What would I be? I would mainly I love dancing, and also maybe I would just be a dancer, I guess. I don't know. I
So,
don't
we'll
know.
going to dance in the next conference we catch up. Lutika,
Yes.
all yours.
Hmm.
And then the last question, your biggest joy outside work. What would Farida love to do?
With my family, that is no brainer, in the sense that it has to be that. I would love to be with my family, and just to chill also, and that, and of course then other activities and all are there, whatever that we do, gardening is there and all,
Right,
but
spending
spend
time.
time with the family.
Maybe paddle, pickle.
Yeah.
Great. Sharp, sincere, and so authentic. That's exactly what Vibe also stands for. So over to you, Lotika, for the closing reflections.
Yeah, so it has really been a very informative learning session for all of us. I think for me personally, I like the values of discipline, integrity, and honesty, and doing things in the process, like following the process, the systems, and all that. That is, that's very important. I like the way you focused on, how the processes should be done so that you get the desired results. And even if you don't get the desired results, go back and reflect on what was the process followed and all. I'd like to ask all my dear friends what would be their quick learnings. Kavita, what was your take home from the Hexalog?
कर्म किए जाओ फल की चिंता मत कर
Yes, that's
But at one point
Ruqayya.
of time, you have to bother about the phala, because you can't give only that excuse.
yes.
Ruqayya?
So for me, two things. Yes, the journey is very important. That's what she emphasized it. And stay true to your ethics during your journey. That is one thing. But also the last thing that she said, that this women stereotype, that she can't do this. I think I will also be, wanting to get inspired by that. That, there should be nothing where it would be that women should not be doing this or can't do this. So yeah.
Yes, that's it. Ritu, what about you?
Oh, I think so many things to say, and everyone knows I love speaking. So again, I'll try to, bring it short. I really love the way Farida said that, the way she elaborated that empathy and authority do, come together, because that's where leadership starts. If you're going to compromise on either one, it's not the right thing to do. So I guess that's my favorite tagline for today.
Yeah. So, Farida, what would be your quote that inspires you, or that you would want our listeners to be inspired by
Yes, right.
something?
Dr. Pranjali has a, sorry, Dr.
Oh,
Pranjali
sorry.
has her hand up.
No issue.
Sorry.
So one thing which is I always remember is spend time on team building. Create your own team. That will
Hmm.
definitely help you. It might take time right now, but that will help us to balance out our work life.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is I'll always remember you, ma'am, for that.
No, no, absolutely. Then you don't have to take your laptops on your vacation and all that, if you
Yes,
have.
yes, exactly, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
one
that
quote
is
which
true.
I kind of is my favorite one is, what Mahatma Gandhi said, no, that if you want to see the future, be the future. I mean, in the sense that don't depend on
Oh,
others to create the future for you. You have to
yeah.
kind of, do that.
Mm.
I think that's what I deeply cherish, and I try to practice that. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Oh, that is so inspiring. That is so nice for a good philosophy to live by and create your own future in the be the future and that way. So Farida, it's really been very nice talking to you and sharing your journey, and we're so happy that you could join us and share your insights. And thank you to all my co-participants at the Vibe, and it was really very nice. And to all our listeners, I hope that you had as much fun listening to it and as much learning as we have gained out of it. And next week, we'll be back with another episode with another interesting, inspiring woman leader. Thank you.
thank you,
Can we
everyone.
just
Thank you for
quickly
having me.
smile for
Yeah.
the frame? Can
Yes,
all of us
the
just
photograph.
smile? So 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. And Farida, just one interesting thing we usually, do be the
Yes,
vibe.
the
So can we
vibe.
ask you as a
Oh,
sign off?
yeah, yeah.
And you have to say be the vibe. So we all go together at the count of 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Be the
Be
vibe.
the vibe.
Be the vibe.
Be the vibe.
Thank you
Thank you
so
once
much,
again.
Farida.
Thank
It's
you
Thank
so
great
you.
having
much for
you.
your time, and I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
you
much.
inviting